menjadi bagian dari cerita tersebut. Dan filosofi yang Rudin Bishop ini katakan, jadi Rudin Bishop ini adalah children's literature scholar dari Amerika. Beliau menceritakan bahwa buku itu memberikan kita refleksi, juga mengajak anak-anak dan juga pembacanya untuk terjun dalam cerita tersebut supaya mereka bisa ikut terlibat, merasa bahwa mereka itu juga dilibatkan dalam cerita, stories, and so on, dan juga ada representation. Kenapa representation ini penting? Supaya anak-anak itu merasa dianggap bahwa, oh ya, their thoughts, meskipun mereka anak-anak, mereka juga punya cita-cita, punya imagination, dan kita harus embrace it juga, gitu. Right. Nah, agenda kita hari ini, pertama akan ada introduction of the book, lalu dilanjuti dengan why use this book, and then there is the literacy focus and importance, kenapa pentingnya literasi ini dan kaitannya dengan your field. Lalu ada emotional and social learning regarding to this book. Ada juga classroom implementation, bagaimana cara menggunakan picture book medium ini dalam classroom atau dalam proses pembelajaran. Lalu ada some philosophical questions. Lalu kita akan masuk ke kinds of practice dan dilanjuti oleh question and answer, and then finally closing. Nah, so talking about the picture book, jadi dalam bahasa Inggris itu kadang ada penulisan picture book as a whole, jadi satu gini ya, jadi picture book disambung. Ada juga kadang tulisannya terpisah, jadi picture spasi book. Nah, ini ada debate gitu ya, ada argumen manakah yang sering dipakai. Nah, according to Nicola Jeva and Scott, penggunaan kata picture book ini sebaiknya itu digabung untuk menggambarkan yang kita maksud adalah buku cerita anak seperti ini gitu ya. Kenapa? Karena dalam hal ini the picture itu tuh bagian dari buku, kayak menyatu jadi satu gitu ya, bukan hal yang terpisah. Jadi segala aspek yang ada dalam picture book ini, dari gambarnya, teksnya, dan segala macamnya, termasuk cover and everything itu as a whole. Makanya mereka digabungin jadi satu. Nah, Where the Wild Things Are ini adalah salah satu classics. Jadi di Amerika, di Inggris ini adalah buku yang sangat-sangat populer. Dalam ceritanya dulu sebenarnya si penulisnya ini Sendak itu sebenarnya nggak expect bukunya ini bakal terkenal gitu ya. Tapi this is one of a classic book karena dia itu sering banget diinterpretasikan dengan segala jenis interpretasi yang berbeda-beda gitu ya. And also Maurice Sendak itu dia sebagai ilustratornya juga. Nah, kadang di buku anak itu ilustrator dan juga penulisnya itu berbeda, tapi kali ini yang sama. Kelebihan dari buku-buku anak yang mempunyai ilustrator dan author yang sama itu bisa sinkron antara cerita dan penggambarannya, gitu ya, karena originally dari satu orang. Nah, kalau misalnya penulis dan authornya itu berbeda, kadang kurang maksimal ya, kayak penggambarannya dan lain sebagainya. Jadi this book itu was published in 1963, tahun 1963, dan it's about this main character, si Max, yang dia itu after misbehaving and being sent to his room, he imagines a journey to a land of wild things who crowned him king, and then dia came home to a warm supper. Jadi as you can see di gambarnya ini, this is what it is called the wild thing di dalam cerita ini ya. This kind of monster animal image gitu. Oke, sampai di sini kalau ada yang ingin ditanyakan, you may raise your hand ya, or we can react also. Okay, so what are the key elements of a picture book? Jadi sebagai an educator, teman-teman di sini mungkin setelah lulus ingin menjadi guru or you want to be an educator, you need to know the medium that you are studying with. Apapun yang dipakai mediumnya, you need to know the key elements. So beberapa hal yang ada dalam picture books itu banyak sebenarnya gitu ya. Even though you look at it, ketika dilihat, oh kok kayaknya simple ya picture book, teksnya nggak terlalu banyak, pendek-pendek ceritanya, terus banyak gambarnya, and it's very attractive ya when you see the images, the illustrations, gambar-gambarnya kayak oh menarik gitu. But there are actually a lot of things that you can think of and you can consider when using them in your English lessons in a classroom. Yang pertama adalah the language features. So you can work with repetition. Jadi pengulangan misalnya apakah teksnya itu banyak pengulangan. And then you can also work with the rhythm, ritmanya, and then the rich adjectives, jadi penggunaan kosakata-kosakata gitu ya. And then you can take a look at the narrative structure. Jadi ini adalah struktur cerita dari awal sampai akhir. Because you want to know whether this book is good for your classroom settings. Is it apakah age appropriate, apakah mungkin untuk level dan usia anak-anak yang teman-teman di sini akan ajar, apakah is it age appropriate and so on. So you need to figure out the narrative structure ya, dari awal sampai akhir, dari the beginning, the rising action, the climax and resolution. This is the typical, the simple way ketika kita melihat bahan literatur, you can see this flow, gitu ya. And then you can also take a look at the character analysis. Dalam literatur, so character analysis ini, you can see siapa itu the main character, gitu ya. See what the main character is dealing with, problem atau masalah apa yang dialami si main character ini. Dan apakah dia itu tipe yang mengalami development towards his journey from the beginning to the end, apakah ada character development atau dia flat gitu ya. And then also you can take a look at the visual literacy. So interpreting the illustrations and the page layout. Gitu ya. So di sini as you can see there are some images and the page layout that you can see where later on itu bisa dijadikan untuk bahan discussion with your students. Gitu. So these are the basic elements. Dan visual literacy ini banyak selain so when I mention here tentang interpretasi dari gambarnya atau image-nya, there are layers to that, which means you can see from the art style, the colors that are being used, and yeah, mostly like the art style, the colors that are being used, and also looking at how the text work towards the image, gitu ya, melihat bagaimana, apakah teksnya kira-kira sama atau beda dari gambarnya. Karena ada juga buku-buku cerita anak yang mungkin gambarnya itu enggak sinkron dengan teks atau ceritanya. Jadi teksnya menceritakan sesuatu yang berbeda dengan apa yang digambarkan. Nah ini memang kadang author atau writers itu sengaja, author and illustratornya sengaja kayak gitu karena there's actually a theory where it's called the counterpoint theory, di mana it is made like that supaya there's this engagement dengan readers to figure out kira-kira ceritanya seperti apa dan lain sebagainya. Gitu. Okay. Now is the storytelling time karena we have discovered the book. Sekarang we will take a look ceritanya kayak apa gitu ya. So I will play this short read aloud video untuk get an understanding of ceritanya seperti apa. Barusan kedengaran nggak ya the sound dari videonya?
Belum.
Belum.
Barusan kedengaran nggak ya?
Belum.
Tadi, oke.
Mungkin perlu dipilih volumenya ketika mengunggah video atau mengunggah mengunggah ke dalam ini.
Gimana?
Suaranya belum
Gimana, Kak?
terdengar. Suaranya
Oh,
belum
oke.
terdengar.
One moment. Bentar, mungkin I will stop sharing the screen dulu.
Iya. Kemudian dipilih untuk sound-nya. Mas Aldi?
Ya, Ibu.
Ya, itu Miss Agnes belum share sound ya?
Sepertinya belum, Bu.
Ya, jadi baru share layar. Mungkin bisa dibantu untuk share sound. Dibantu untuk. Oke. Coba kita ini.
Ya. Okay, I'm ready.
Ya.
Time. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him
Wild Thing,
and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away, across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please, don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "Now." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end.
Please subscribe.
Oke, dari cerita tersebut, what did you learn? Ada pesan apa yang teman-teman bisa pelajari dari cerita tadi? What happened?
Ini. Gak usah ngomong.
There's no right or wrong. Gak ada, just be confident. Kira-kira ceritanya tentang apa? Boleh pakai bahasa Inggris, bahasa Indonesia, mau campur, it's also okay. What did you learn? Apa yang dipelajari dari cerita tersebut tadi?
Ini mungkin ini mengenai kesombongan anak. Takabur. Iya, takabur. Iya.
Oke. Kesombongan anaknya tadi ya, yang tadi dibilang, oh, dia itu kayak suka main terus kayak kelihatannya bandel rewel gitu ya.
Yes, that's mine.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Mungkin teman-teman yang lain? Or I will try. Oh yeah. Dari Mbak Fitri, the image looks like Labubu. That is true. The wild things ya ini kayak Labubu ya. Oke, ada yang lain lagi? I want to ask you, okay, there's a scene. Nah, So wait. Di sini ada yang ingin menambahkan dari Mbak Yunita?
Mbak bingit apa sob?
Okay. I'm not sure if she's okay. But anyways, nah, as you can see, there is si Max ini playing ya, and he's king di sini in this imaginary place that he invented. Di dalam cerita ini itu dia menjadi raja dan dia taking over his world. But here di sini itu si Max kelihatan sedih, ya kan? Dia kayak ternyata being a ruler itu ternyata ada waktu bosan juga ya memerintah jadi raja dan lain sebagainya. Ternyata there are times di mana dia itu ternyata menjadi king is not everything gitu ya. It's not everything, and there'll be times that he'll get bored and his people udah lagi tired and so on. And so there is this point di mana he returns back home. And you can see all of his facial expressions gitu ya. Dari this one dia kayak kind of like relaxed. I think di awal-awal dia kayak upset gitu kan. Karena his mom is seeing him itu dia kayaknya bandel ya. Dia kayak this is his dog. Gitu bawa garpu and chasing his dog everywhere. And then after that ibunya bilang, kamu you are a wild thing gitu ya, kayak bandel gitu. And then si Max malah jawabnya jawab lumayan frontal juga ya, lumayan kasar gitu. I'll eat you up. So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Jadi dia disuruh balik ke kamar tanpa makanan sebagai bentuk hukuman gitu ya, kayak dibiarin gitu. And you can see wajahnya si Max ini dia kayak he's very like sad, angry gitu ya, upset dan lain sebagainya. So but what happens then ketika towards the end, so Max ini dia kayak he's really happy, he's being the king in the Wild Thing world, the Wild Things world. He came home, ya kan, dia pulang lagi, and what happens? Apa yang teman-teman bisa lihat dari image
smiling, smile.
Yes, he's smiling.
Relax.
And what else? Di gambar ini ada apa lagi? What can you see di latarnya in his bedroom? And from the text di sini ada teks yang di sini tulisannya apa nih?
Supper.
Ada yang mau?
Supper.
Yeah, supper. The supper is
Waiting
served
for
ya,
him.
jadi waiting for him. Okay, what can you imply? Apakah yang dimaksud dari scene ini, dari this page, this particular page? What can you tell from this particular page? Okay, maybe I'm going to ask randomly ya, teman-teman yang di sini. Jangan takut salah, don't worry. Coba Mbak Aprilia Wulandari.
Ya.
Okay. Di sini di latarnya ini udah ada makan malamnya ya kan? Kira-kira apa yang terjadi what happened here? Tadi kan di awal ibunya kayak send him to bed gitu kan, terus tiba-tiba dia balik to the real world. Gimana? Halo? Okay, I can't hear anyone. Okay. Ada yang kira-kira what this implies? Scene ini apa maksud dari scene ini?
Maybe like Max jadi baik. Lebih kind.
Rindu rumah.
Rindu rumah.
Yeah, he probably misses home, yeah, and then he's going back. Okay, anyone else? Coba boleh Mbak Sheila. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on this scene?
Maybe his mother is to be kind.
His mom ini ya kayak udah forgive
Iya.
him gitu ya, udah maafkan Max's naughtiness yang tadi bandel dan nakal tadi ya.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your thoughts. Nah, jadi di sini, as you can see from this scene, itu kayak it turns out as parents itu pastinya masih peduliin tentang kita gitu ya, even though before children are being misalnya mungkin running around the place, nakal atau something like that, they still love us and they would still prepare the meal gitu ya for us. Meskipun tadi kayak dihukum, suruh masuk kamar tanpa supper, at the end his mom still gives it and masih hot, masih panas. Ini implies bahwa baru aja di serve gitu kan, like this is a freshly made food that his mom made him. So, which means it shows the unconditional love of the parent. Gitu. Okay, so next, moving on, we will have some thought session. Ini a little bit of reflection. Jadi silakan teman-teman scan this QR code and write 1 to 2 words, mau sentences juga boleh, but I think there's like a maximum 25 characters to this. Ini boleh, I think you can do it multiple times as well, gitu ya. And then I want to see your thoughts. Thoughts teman-teman di sini, apa aja sih tentang buku tadi, and what do you feel after reading the book or seeing the story of the book? Gitu ya.
I have question.
Oh yes, silakan.
To write this apa namanya ini about the book, should I to use English or can use Indonesia?
I think, well, I would advise using English, please, as a practice. Great. So while waiting for teman-teman semua, I'm going to open the results. Okay. I'm going to present them as well, so you can see what your other friends are talking about and their thoughts about the book. Okay. So what is interesting about Where the Wild Things Are there naughty, good storyline, weird, pembelajaran sebagai raja, what's great. Yang bilang pembelajaran sebagai raja ini, what kind of pembelajaran that you learned?
Jadi raja.
What kind of lesson? The illustrations, yeah. Great. Okay, the expressions. Jadi also in storytelling technique, jadi ketika teman-teman nanti memakai medium picture books untuk mengajar, make sure that you also practice storytelling techniques in reading out loud gitu ya, reading out loud to your students. Karena itu sangat membedakan supaya terdengar menarik and you can engage with the story. Gitu ya. So, for example, tadi seperti in the story, the narrator uses different voice ketika explaining when Max is saying something or where the wild creatures are saying something, itu juga pakai intonasi yang berbeda gitu ya. Great, I'm seeing more excellent feedbacks. Okay, very good. Parental love, importance of family. It's great. Okay. All right. Okay. Jadi ini you can see what your ada juga yang bilang don't be a king ya. Could be a good thing. So great. Right. So yeah. So these are like some of the feedbacks your friends are saying about the book, and I hope the book can also inspire you with the storytelling and everything. So I'm going to go back to my slides now. Okay. So why this book study? It is rich in emotional expression and psychological depth. Dan juga I want to highlight reading for pleasure. Kenapa ini penting? Reading for pleasure ini adalah untuk meningkatkan kesenangan membaca gitu ya. Sebagai educators, you need to motivate your students to have the feeling or to have the love for reading gitu ya. So you need to motivate your students this is the benefit of reading, and also reading for pleasure, untuk kesenangan, untuk bukan karena terpaksa gitu ya, bukan karena it's for academic purposes and so on, even though you're rating it in the academic purpose, but it is important to get your student engaged untuk memiliki hobi membaca gitu ya. Dan starting with simple books atau books with illustrations, picture books, it is a good way to introduce the love for reading. Karena juga, especially for English for second language learners, your students yang bahasa Inggris itu bukan merupakan bahasa ibu itu, start with something simple dulu, and then it has a powerful narrative, so you can see from the image, you can see from the text, for the story structure and exploration, and also bisa banget diinterpretasikan untuk cross-cultural links and activities seperti art, drama, atau well-being. And then also there's a diverse interpretation for the imagination, discipline, freedom, and also love. And then you can also discuss in the classroom, mungkin tentang, you can address beberapa poin penting. Jadi mungkin karena banyak aspek ya dalam picture book, mungkin teman-teman di sini bisa pilih satu atau dua hal aja yang dipakai dan integrasikan dalam classroom atau untuk aktivitas teaching gitu ya. So for example, you want to pick one, discussing feelings such as anger, loneliness, love, or regret. Terus maybe encouraging self-reflection, and you can also use vocabulary building. So, ya. Nah, when using medium children's picture books as a medium, sebenarnya ada I would recommend a online website dari namanya The Prindle Institute. So The Prindle Institute. Nah, Prindle Institute ini dia itu memberikan beberapa philosophical questions yang bisa teman-teman pakai untuk discuss dengan anak-anak. Misalnya, apa yang kira-kira terjadi kalau misalnya tadi kan ada scene di mana ada hutan yang tumbuh di ruang kamarnya si Max gitu ya. Kira-kira kalau misalnya apakah itu benar-benar terjadi atau is it just in his head, is it just in imagination gitu ya. So you can discuss this with your students. And then are the wild things real or imagined? Kira-kira wild things ini nyata atau hanya imajinasi ya? Gitu. And what does this say about imagination and reality? Jadi these are some questions you can ask to your students. And have you ever felt the need to be where someone love you best of all? Kenapa kira-kira merasa dicintai, loved, or feeling important itu penting? And then you can address that with family settings, friendship, and so on. Gitu ya. So these are some guided questions. But ini mungkin bisa dipakai dengan untuk students atau murid-murid yang maybe a bit older and have understand some things gitu ya. Mungkin for younger students, you can adjust it to maybe questions, pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang lebih mudah dipahami. Okay. So an example activity di sini ada activity 1 itu writing practice. Jadi sebagai teachers, so sebagai educator, you can use the picture book itu as a writing practice dengan murid-murid teman-teman semua. For example, writing a letter, menulis surat gitu ya. Jadi latihan bahasa Inggris dengan menulis surat. So the activity is write a letter from Max to his mom. Jadi menulis surat untuk ibunya gitu ya. And then encourage emotional vocabulary. Misalnya ada regret, love, maybe saying sorry, I'm missing someone gitu ya. Karena kan tadi kan ibunya sempat marah gitu ya. So it means that Max did something that his mom doesn't like. Jadi expressing sorry and so on. Jadi ini some of the simple things that you can work with and then belajar untuk menulis surat gitu ya. Just a fun practice gitu ya. Or you don't have to say it mungkin when talking to your students, you don't have to say it to your mom, but you can say it to somebody that you have that you want to address something or expressing feelings to. Nah, ada materials di sini yang dibutuhkan ya, tapi sebenarnya materialnya tidak terlalu rumit. So you can use ada kertas di sini ya, writing templates, pensil. Kalau misalnya mau ada sedikit creativity, fun activities, you can bring amplop, terus mungkin stiker-stiker lucu gitu ya. And then you can also write some emotional vocabulary seperti anger, loneliness, scared, sorry, loved. And then you can also print some images for Max. Jadi untuk an inspiration. Jadi write a letter. Ini ya, jadi aktivitas menulis surat. So letter example di sini ada yang mau coba baca?
Mau.
Oke, silakan Aldi.
Okay. Letter example. Dear Mom, I'm sorry for being angry. I said bad things and I didn't listen to you. I went away to a place with wild things. At first, I was happy. Made me the king. But then I felt only I missed you a lot. I want to come home. Thank you for the warm food. I know you love me. I love you too. I love you too. Go, Max.
Perfect. Thank you. Great job. So yeah, jadi this is some of the things yang teman-teman bisa ajarkan to your students to write letter. But I think I would advise to make it adjustable, adjust ke the age group and to what level English they're in gitu ya. So maybe like writing simple sentences, present, past tense, dan lain sebagainya gitu ya. So this is one example. And then tips for teachers sebagai educators teman-teman di sini, you can use word cards. Jadi ada medium mungkin pakai kartu gitu with pictures, and then okay, and then so there's like angry, happy, lonely. And then you can say I miss blah blah blah. Jadi kalau misalnya udah ada template like this, so this is like the template. Nanti anak-anak your students itu bisa langsung put on the vocabulary to make it easier. And then so the second activity is the I feel circle. So this is to sit in a circle gitu, and then create a variety of emotions like maybe proud, scared, love tadi. Same with feelings, tapi this time students can share what they are feeling, their emotions, and what caused it gitu ya. So this is untuk help your students with mindfulness, with well-being. Karena in recent times pasti banyak banget gitu ya yang everyone experience, dan this is to have a relaxed classroom settings. Mungkin setelah selesai atau setelah selesai kelas, have like 5 to 10 minutes of this gitu ya. So this is like drawing feelings, and it's like feelings journal. And this is you can also make it this way, misalnya tentang perasaan happy. I feel happy, terus and then you can ask your students untuk misalnya menggambar atau menulis when do you feel happy. Jadi I feel happy when blah blah blah. And then there's also when feeling sad, you can draw or write what makes you feel sad. And then when feeling angry, and then when feeling loved. So this is an activity of expressing feelings. Gitu ya. And then this is one of my favorite stated like interpretation ketika tadi when his mom said wild thing gitu ya. Tapi sebenarnya his mom still loves him and takes him for who he is. Even though kadang at scenes beberapa times parents itu mungkin juga frustrasi gitu and send him to bed. And this is what Max said, but at the end, so he was sent to bed without eating anything. Tapi ketika dia bangun tidur, jadi sebenarnya tadi dia ketika dia bangun gitu ya, or he came back to his reality life, ternyata makanannya udah ada. Padahal tadi awalnya there's nothing for him to eat. But so there's a part of unconditional love from parents. Okay, so that's all, and now it's time for question and answer session. Silakan teman-teman di sini kalau ada yang ingin ditanyakan. please write your question atau boleh juga react dan langsung tanya gitu ya. You can put your hands up and react in Zoom, and then I will let you speak. Dan itu jangan lupa presensi peserta. So don't forget to write presensi teman-teman for the day. Any questions regarding picture books, how to use it in classroom settings?
How to read this one? Okay. Tanya ya. I have question, Miss Agnes.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, just asking about this material. Apakah ini mungkin mengarah materi yang dipaparkan Miss Agnes ini direct us to make maybe picture book atau menunjukkan ini, Miss, menunjukkan bahwa efektivitas picture book untuk mungkin peningkatan peserta gitu.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is, in this session, you can try sebaiknya menggunakan medium picture books gitu ya sebagai interactive materials di classroom. So what I'm trying to highlight is usually sering banget picture books itu dianggap mungkin ini ya, oh it's too simple atau terlalu, vocabulary wise mungkin teksnya nggak terlalu banyak gitu ya, teksnya nggak terlalu banyak dan kayaknya kurang menantang gitu for vocabulary building. But actually in literature you can learn so many things from a picture book gitu ya. So you can learn the character study, you can learn what is the storyline, then you can also ask your students what they think about the story gitu. Another way untuk cara melibatkan students teman-teman nanti in the future itu mungkin pakai sticky notes. So there's this method di mana teman-teman sebelum discuss the book, sebelum mulai ceritanya, teman-teman kasih students sticky notes, terus bilang kayak, oh teman-teman kira-kira ini ceritanya tentang apa ya gitu. Bisa dilihat gambar apa, karakter apa, and then you can ask them to say it in English, for sure. They will mention the vocabulary. Kalau mereka bisa, bahasa Indonesia, it's also okay. This is to engage in their critical thinking. Jadi, the function of children's picture book salah satunya selain developing literacy adalah untuk develop the critical thinking gitu. Dan sebagai educators, make sure that give your students the opportunity, kesempatan untuk berpikir, untuk mengutarakan pendapat apapun itu gitu ya. There is no right or wrong, but then you will teach them, oh ini loh seperti ini, gini-gini afterwards, setelah mereka berpendapat dan mengutarakan pendapat mereka gitu. And then so there's this method. Pertama, you can ask, oh what is this picture book about? Dikasih sticky notes, and then they will post what they think, mereka berpikir tentang apa. Terus during the storytelling session, ketika teman-teman bercerita, you can pick like one page misalnya gitu ya. Oh ini, what do you think about this page? Jadi teman-teman berhenti dulu, tanya students, kira-kira ini tentang apa, this page ini, they can think about it, and then at the end of the book you can also ask how do you feel after reading the book, dan lain sebagainya. So you can see how this is to evaluate juga pola pikir murid-murid teman-teman gitu. Gitu ya. I hope that answers. Semoga itu membantu ya.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Agnes. That's helpful.
No worries, my pleasure. Okay, teman-teman bisa bertanya, nanti ada door prize. Okay, nice. There'll be like door prize gitu ya. any more questions? You can ask relating to picture books, teaching English, or anything. Basically, you can ask me while I'm here.
I have a question, Miss.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, the question is, what are the main challenges using picture books as a teaching medium in the classroom? Thank you.
Okay, great. What a good question. Okay, so the main challenges, I would say the source itself gitu ya. I think it depends on the theme. Pertama, teman-teman ini lagi what kind of tema yang ingin teman-teman ceritakan. There are abundance, banyak banget sumber picture books. However, in cost, kalau yang berbahasa Inggris, it can be quite pricey gitu ya. That's the challenges to have it in your hand. And it depends on the collections of the library and so on. So that could be the downside. Tapi sekarang ini juga lumayan banyak the PDF format gitu ya. So you can search online di Google, misalnya the judul buku apa atau tema tertentu, and then PDF sometimes it comes up, but sometimes it doesn't. So one of the hard part is the source, having the source with you, and also trying to, I think the storytelling part. Jadi ketika bercerita, you kind of want to engage dengan students gitu ya, untuk mungkin intonasinya dan cara bercerita. So as an educator, you want to make it interesting. Jadi latihan mungkin sebelumnya beberapa kali untuk storytelling gitu ya, just reading out loud and maybe holding the medium. Jadi kadang untuk membuka dan placing it so that the students can see and also understand what the story is about. Gitu. Kadang you also need to just motivate your students and also tanya ke mereka, oh ini tentang apa ya? Kira-kira bagaimana? How do they feel? And stuff like that. So that they engage with you. Karena kadang mungkin students bingung gitu ya. Duh, bilang apa ya? Atau mereka mungkin malu atau takut. Just make sure to let them know that there's gak ada yang salah and so that they are confident. Karena untuk belajar bahasa Inggris ini sering problem yang besar adalah takut salah gitu ya. Takut salah, but that's the process of learning. It means that you're learning something new and it's completely okay to make mistakes. Gitu. I hope that
Thank you,
answers.
Miss.
Thank you.
Yes, Miss. Thank
Winnie.
you.
Okay, anyone else? Mungkin satu penanya lagi. Kalau ada. Oke.
Assalamualaikum.
Oh yes, silakan. Panggilannya siapa? Oh, kayaknya masih mute.
Mas Brahma
Oke,
itu
jadi
masih
nanya.
Mas Brahma masih mute ya. Ya, Brahma mungkin itu masih mute. Jadi
Go
nanya
ahead, Brahma.
mungkin
Open your mic, Brahma.
ini Brahma jadi tanya nggak ya?
Mau bertanya.
Okay.
Miss,
Don't worry.
Miss Agnes, may I ask a question?
Oh yes, for sure.
Okay.
Mbak Fitri ya.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss. Maybe in another side when we will goes to calon guru. Nah, ini bicara tentang calon guru, Miss Agnes. Apa yang harus disiapkan ketika kita mengajarkan atau membuat material reading untuk anak-anak, saya pernah mendapatkan satu pernyataan bahwa ketika membuat buku anak itu tidak boleh menggunakan foto untuk mengajarkannya. What your opinion about that, Miss Agnes?
Oh wow, thank you Mbak Fitri. Kalau boleh tahu itu dari siapa ya yang nggak boleh memakai foto untuk membuat buku? Ini fotonya maksudnya foto real foto atau kayak
Yes,
gambar?
real foto. Jadi untuk anak-anak kelas sekolah dasar, kelas 1, kelas 1, mungkin kelas rendah ya, kelas 1, kelas 2, kelas 3 untuk mengajarkan material bahasa atau kosakata itu sebaiknya tidak menggunakan real foto, tapi menggunakan handwriting, hand apa ya, gambar tangan itu. Nah itu kalau pendapatnya Miss Agnes gimana?
Oke, terima kasih Mbak. To be honest, menurut saya nggak ada larangan untuk menggunakan any medium gitu ya. I mean, as long as itu appropriate, maksudnya sesuai dan tidak mengandung sara dan lain sebagainya gitu ya. I think that any medium, termasuk foto, itu bisa dipakai as a helping tool, even though for learning vocabulary. Misalnya using picture cards gitu ya, misalnya bentuk kartu, but it depends on how you teach it. Jadi bukan tentang boleh atau enggaknya, menurut saya boleh. Of course, you can use pictures or photos, tapi how you would address the lesson. Misalnya ada picture cards gitu ya, ada foto. Misalnya ada foto mobil gitu ya, ada foto mobil dan juga the vocabulary car. It's how you teach those medium is what matters. Gitu. So to be honest, it's fine as long as nggak mengandung sara dan lain sebagainya, and it's still appropriate for the teaching method because pictures, images maupun itu fiction ataupun non-fiction, apakah itu kartun ataupun reality, it still will help the cognitive semiotics di dalam otak anak gitu ya, to kind of see, oh ini loh, this is the instrument, or this is the reality, tiga dimensinya dan lain sebagainya. So it's definitely, for me, it's okay to use photos. Gitu. I hope that explains. Begitu.
Oh, okay, Miss Agnes. Maybe someone tell about that because hand-drawn illustration is maybe more flexible to showing unique character, especially in fiction. So many fantastical creators will be more attracted for children, but in non-fiction, I think photos is more expression buat mengekspresikan apa yang benar-benar terjadi. Itu untuk yang non-fiksi bisa begitu ya, Miss Agnes.
Ya, betul. Ya. Okay, thank you Mbak Fitri. Okay, so I guess that's all from me untuk sesi kelas hari ini. Semoga bermanfaat materi hari ini, and I hope it also motivates you and also inspire you to use picture books dan your students nantinya di masa depan to have the love for reading gitu ya, for reading for pleasure itu penting, dan juga helping you in your teaching methods gitu. Oh, dia ada pertanyaan dari Mbak Erina. Okay. So it says here, in your opinion, can comics be considered as part of picture books? And how do you see the potential of using comics? The answer is comics itu sebenarnya mereka genre yang berbeda dengan picture books. Jadi in this context, picture books itu sebagai genre dan dia namanya graphic novels gitu. You can say technically it's a picture book, but they are a different genre gitu ya, different genre gitu. So that's technically it's different, but definitely bisa banget pakai komik untuk early childhood education. It of course does have the potential. Nanti it depends also on dari perspektif kalian memakai itu dari mana gitu. Misalnya memakai karakter, salah satunya dari karakter tadi, the narration, the illustration or the visual aspect of it, and then also like the plot, how to identify the plot. Jadi itu pastinya bisa banget. So in general, all literacy or literature medium itu sebenarnya bisa dipakai termasuk comics ini gitu ya. It's a good point. Also comics itu adalah sesuatu yang you will study here. Jadi during my course di Cambridge, I studied also ada kelas tentang comics and also tentang games juga ya. But it like kind of like the storyline and so on aspect. Jadi bisa banget. And also ada pertanyaan dari no worries, thank you for asking juga Mbak Erina, dari Kak Santoso. Okay, I have a question. Okay, how to evaluate the effectiveness of picture books in improving children's language skills? Now, for this, you will need to make a rubric gitu ya. And also basically how to evaluate, that really depends on the school and the kind of curriculum you're handling with. Dan mungkin nanti dari situ bisa diintegrasikan dengan what approaches of English and your targets juga. So basically from there you need to know, for example, the school that you're teaching atau what kind of curriculum that they are using, and then you can then match that with the picture book that you are going to use gitu ya. And then how to evaluate is, pertama, apakah your students itu bisa nangkap isi ceritanya apa gitu ya. Are they engaged? Apakah mereka engaged enough with the story? Apakah mereka understand and still in focus when you are teaching this picture books gitu ya. And then like how many questions that they're asking gitu ya. So basically it depends on the dialogue and the engagement of the students dengan teman-teman semua sebagai educators. That's kind of how you measure the success of the picture book gitu. So I hope that answer. Okay. So yeah, I guess oh, there's something else. No worries. I guess that's all from me. Adakah tambahan lainnya? I think maybe that's all. So thank you everyone for having me, dan I wish you the best, sukses selalu, dan semoga hari ini bermanfaat bagi teman-teman semua. Gitu ya. Have a good rest also and tetap semangat.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ma.
everyone.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Sehat
you,
selalu juga.
Thank you.
Always healthy.
Goodbye. See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Good
I
evening.
will too.